Hi everybody, welcome again to Write to the Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, I will actually tell you the secret to good writing. But before I do that, if you haven't already joined this channel, please subscribe for free, or you can become a member and show your support and help me keep this channel going and help it grow and become better and help more people. But let's get back to the main idea here. What is the secret to good, strong writing? It's very simple. It's called K.I.S.S. K-I-S-S. You may have heard of this before. Keep it simple, silly. Some people say stupid, but silly is a little bit more polite. Keep it simple. That's the main idea. What I think most people misunderstand about writing, and for some reason they think writing and speaking have to be completely different. They are in terms of grammar and vocabulary, but in terms of messaging, what you want to do with your writing is keep it as simple as possible and as easy for the reader to reach the message, to absorb the message. What does this mean? You want to write less, not more. You don't want to overdo the vocabulary. Don't try to use big words thinking that it makes the writing better. It doesn't. It actually makes it worse in many cases. Don't overstretch the sentences. And very importantly, trust your reader. What does that mean, trusting the reader? Make sure you understand that the reader is not stupid, basically. Understand that he or she can fill in some blanks for you, can take your idea and expand or extrapolate other ideas from it. So trust your reader, keep it simple, and if you think something is not simple or needs more explanation, then give it. But don't treat your reader like he or she doesn't know anything about your topic. They probably do. Even in creative writing, they can use their imagination. Now, putting all of this together, how do you do all of these things? You use precision language. And that is actually the focus of today's lesson. What is the value and what is precision language? Okay, so what are the values of precision language? What is precision language actually? Let's start with that question. Precision language means using the words and the structures, I guess you could say, the constructions of sentences and clauses in the way that makes it the most clear, makes the message the most clear to your reader. Now, what are the benefits? What is the result of using precision language? Number one, brevity. You want to be as brief as possible. You don't want to have very long sentences that either bore the reader or confuse the reader. Both of which are bad, but getting the reader bored is probably the worst thing you can do because they'll just stop reading. If they're confused, they may try again until they give up. If they're bored, they're just gone. So you want to be brief, right? And precision language allows you to do that. So what does that mean in terms of the wording and the structures? You want to get rid of all unnecessary, irrelevant, or redundant wording. Right? And I'll give you an example of that in a moment. Then precision language also allows you to focus your message a lot more, right? You can focus on the topic, on the idea that you want to express. Then there's impact. Impact means that you're touching the reader in a certain way, or you're making the reader react in a way that you want to, such that they absorb the message much more easily, or more deeply is another way to think of it. It also gives you an opportunity to add style to your writing. And the most important thing is that it allows the reader to know where you want him or her to go. It's like a signal to the reader. So these are all very vague ideas. Let's look at some examples. So let's look at this sentence. The manager brought in an outside expert to oversee the project in an effort to make it proceed more quickly and reach its conclusion before the set deadline. 28 words to express an idea. Do you think that I can cut this sentence in half or even less and still get the same message across? Let's see. The manager hired an expert to try to expedite the project's completion. 12 words, so like even less than half. Have I lost any, message in this new sentence? No. Does it look like a much simpler sentence? Yes, and simple, again, is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So what did I get rid of? So instead of saying, bring in an outside expert, bring in an outside, 4 words when I can just say hired. If you hire somebody, it's obvious that they don't work for the company, which means that you brought them from the outside. You don't need to use 4 words when 1 word will do the same work for you, right? Get rid of all those unnecessary words. In an effort to try, in an effort to do something, try, to try. Again, try, it's a very simple word, very everyday word, not a bad thing. Use it. When you try to be too fancy, you're telling the reader that A, you don't trust them, or B, you're trying to impress them. Both don't work. If you want to make something happen faster, so again, here basically what you're doing is you're giving a definition. Whenever possible, don't use the definition of a word, use the word. But again, you need to know the word first. So to make something happen faster means to expedite it. To make something happen more easily, facilitate, right? So you have to have this vocabulary base in order to have more precision in your writing. Now, other things, other ways to get more precision. Think about context. A lot of contexts have words that are particular to that context. So for example, in university, a student in college in his or her second year is a sophomore. First year is a freshman, second sophomore, third junior, senior. Use those words instead of saying a student in his or her second year. It's why you have all those extra words. A student who's studying for his bachelor's degree, an undergraduate student. Master's, graduate student, okay? A person who has a lot of experience in the field, a veteran. So whenever you have a contextual word that can replace all those explanation words or definition words, get rid of all the explanation and definition words. They don't add anything to your writing. It also, precision language also gives you flexibility. So let me give you another example here. People entered the funeral hall where the family waited to greet them and accept their words of comfort. Everyone spoke in very low voices so as to show respect for the sad occasion and to not disturb the dead man's family. 41 words. 41 words to say something very, very simple. Again, I'm going to cut this right in half. Out of respect for the somber occasion, the funeral attendees whispered as they entered the hall and consoled the grieving family. Because I have the vocabulary and very specific to what I want to say, I can get rid of a lot of extra words, still have my message, and I can also move things around within the sentence so that I have different ideas in different places, depending on what I want to focus on, what I want to emphasize, where the next sentence is going to take me, and so on. That's flexibility. You also want to have impact, and precision vocabulary lets you do that. So for example, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but it's a good example. If you're talking about stocks, stocks going up, stocks going down, stocks went up a lot, stocks went down a lot. Yeah, I get the message, you got the idea through, but if you want to have an impact on the reader, you say that stocks fell a lot, collapsed, crashed. Stocks went up a lot, skyrocketed, boomed, right? These words have a certain connotation in the reader's mind and they have a more of an impact, and especially when you're using it with verbs for impact, then you're really reaching the reader in a different way. Another thing you want to do is think about sense or mood. If somebody's walking and they almost fall, okay, almost fall means they didn't fall, but you don't really visualize it so much. Where somebody tripped or stumbled, you see that action, right? If you're holding something tightly, that's fine, you're holding it tightly, but if you squeeze it or clench it, you get a very different visual image of that situation. When people are speaking quietly, or people are speaking very quietly, whisper, mumble, right, or murmur, these have a very different visual connotation or sound connotation. They put the reader in the situation more easily so they can, visualize the scene, and it impacts them more. So now you're wondering, okay, so how do I practice this? How do I practice precision language? Take anything you've written lately, let's say an essay you've written for school or a report you've written at work, whatever it is that you've written, and even if you have a final draft and you've submitted it, whatever, it doesn't matter. Take that draft and try to cut the word count, reduce the word count by 5 to 10%. Right there, you will see the need for precision language. As soon as you're able to reduce the word count by even 5% or even 10%, you'll notice how much tighter your writing is, how much clearer it is, how much clearer the idea becomes in your own mind, and then how much clearer it becomes in the reader's mind. And that is ultimately the aim of precision writing. Simple, clear, easy to get to. That's what you're aiming for, and that's what precision language will help you to do. Okay? So now, if you have any questions about any of this, please ask me in the comments section below. If you want to suggest any sentences, if you want to give examples, share with your fellow viewers, please do that. Put them in the comment section. Please read each other's comments, give them a like, give them comments, whatever works for you, right? Now, if you like the video, please give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and come back next time for some more writing tips. See you.